What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles submitted to the channel by Palitroshettle, who's running 3 newly buffed Pokemon this season with Oranguru, Hydreigon, and Durant in the Great League. Now previously, Hydreigon has always been an underwhelming Pokemon to use since there were already loads of viable Glassy Dragon-type Pokemon, which could spam charge moves slightly faster than Hydreigon, as Brutal Swing was previously a 40 energy charge attack, and a lot of the other dragons had access to 35 energy charge moves. But now of course Brutal Swing is a 35 energy move, which makes it more in line with some of those other dragons. Of course, it still gets overshadowed by Guzzlord, which has the same typing and also has access to Brutal Swing, but to be fair, that thing casts an absolutely massive shadow. But anyways, with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What do you think is the strongest type combination to core break the current Great League meta? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, setting into the first battle, lead Oranguru into Dunsparce. So both newly buffed Pokemon this season. I have no clue who wins this in any even shield scenarios here, but we're going to no shield the first charge move as the opponent fires off the drill run, and we're going to go straight for a Trailblaze. Typically, I would say not very good timing there, but when you're running a charge move that does boost up your attack and a fast move that hits pretty hard like Confusion, actually it might be more optimal to just throw the charge move straight away, ramp up the damage there, and then hit Confusions even harder than before. But either way, we go for Brutal Swing and we grab both shields from the opponent. We're staying in here just because we were boosted, and then finally going to come in with Durant as the Oranguru does go down. They go for another drill run there, absolutely fine with us. We can tank that, but another drill run will get us incredibly low. So going to use our first shield as they go for the drill run there. We can now go for a full Metal Claw farm down, and the opponent comes in with a Azumarill. So of course, not great for us. We have only got Hydreigon in the back, but we are running Flash Cannon for coverage. Of course, it's going to be neutral damage in this matchup, but hopefully we can make it in time before the opponent makes it to back-to-back charge moves. They're running Ice Beam there, so they will be able to make it to another charge move pretty quickly, but not fast enough as Hydreigon makes it to the Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon gets the KO, and they've got a Hypno in the back, and this is actually looking fairly good for us. It kind of just depends which Elemental Punch they're running. If they are running one, we go for the Brutal Swing. That still does big damage. It did, of course, get nerfed in terms of its damage output. The opponent goes for Ice Punch, but we're still able to hang on and get the Dragon Breath farm down, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Drifblim in the lead, so a pretty good matchup for us. Of course, they can go for either Mystical Fire or Icy Wind, and that would drop our attack, but they can't fire off a Shadow Ball because that would be resisted by the part normal and psychic typing Pokemon here. So gonna no shield, they go for the Icy Wind, fine with us. They're gonna swap into their own Oranguru. Now we could have come in with either Pokemon here, doesn't really matter, but we come in with the Durant. We're gonna no shield as they go for a Trailblaze there, which is kind of interesting. Of course, like I mentioned before, it does boost up their attack, but it does not do much damage. It's double resisted, and they don't even make it to a Brutal Swing there, so probably was a mistake on their end. They're going to come in with a Clodsire now. Both our charge moves are resisted, but likewise, they are dealing double resisted Poison Sting damage here, so going to have to fire off a charge move. We're going to no shield, and the opponent's actually running Sludge Bomb, which does not do much damage either. Again, just firing off the Stone Edge, and that's fine. Stone Edge will be coming through, and the opponent actually swapped. I didn't even see that catch there, but they swap into a Drifblim, and unfortunately for them, that was not good. Probably expecting us to throw an X-Scissor there, but for some reason we went for Stone Edge. It pays off as we get the KO, and the opponent just concedes the match there. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Gastrodon in the lead now. This is a positive matchup for us, of course, as we're running Trailblaze, but we don't even throw it here. We bait with a Brutal Swing, and the opponent actually no shields that, either calling the bait or just completely unaware that this thing does learn Trailblaze. But either way, that is definitely not ideal for us. We can make it to the Trailblaze though. Trailblaze will get the KO there, but we definitely could have just taken them out a lot sooner than that and still had a healthy Oranguru. But either way, they come in with a Shadow for Alligator. Unfortunately, they do get the full farm down there, but it doesn't really matter too much, as I believe if they are running Ice Beam and they full send it here, then we should be able to shield this and go for a full Dragon Breath farm down. But unfortunately, they're running Crunch. They don't get the debuff though, so that's fine, and this will just be a Hydro Cannon, although that still does a lot of damage there. But we do get the Dragon Breath farm down, and they come in with a Malamar now. I don't think they will be able to go for a full sideway farm down, so that's pretty good as it will force the opponent to throw their energy. We're going to make it to back-to-back Brutal Swings here. Brutal Swing number 2, going to grab the final shield, but the opponent actually does get the full farm down there, and we don't realize until too late that might be a mistake here. And this is definitely a matchup where if we had Bug Bite, then we probably would have just swapped out straight away. But unfortunately, Metal Claw doesn't hit very hard, but I don't think they will be able to make it to 3 charge moves, and we are just barely able to outpace them to the X-Scissor. X-Scissor, of course, double super effective, easily gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. So into next battle, another fairly positive lead matchup for us, of course. Going to be resisting the Shadow Claw damage, and this time we're going to go for an extra confusion as the opponent throws straight away, which is fine with us. They go for the foul play there, which is pretty interesting, but then they swap into Drifblim, so already running double Ghost so far. Pretty interesting team on the opponent's end. Definitely core broken by this Oranguru, but either way, going to fire off the next Brutal Swing, grabbing both shields from the Drifblim there, and still forcing the opponent to throw their energy. And this is fine because we've still got Hydreigon, we know they've got Trevenant and Drifblim, so pretty good matchups for us. Either way, going to come in with the Hydreigon here, and we will actually be able to throw a charge move before they make it. Well, we throw on CMP there, but either way, Brutal Swing will get the KO there, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to come in with a Machamp running Karate Chop. We're going to swap into our Durant, and we should still be in a pretty good position here. We are going to shield this up, just play it safe. We've already seen Foul Play actually, so might as well shield. They go for Seed Bomb, which does cost the same energy as Foul Play, so don't really know why they did that, but either way, we're going to fire off the X-Scissor there. X-Scissor gets the KO. They come back in with the Machamp, and we're going straight for Stone Edge. Stone Edge will be hitting harder. It nearly gets the KO. It forces the opponent to throw their energy, and at this point, we can just let Durant go down. We can come in with Hydreigon, go for the Dragon Breath farm down, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, see a Miltank in the lead. So once again, another fairly neutral matchup here, up against another newly buffed Pokemon, as they are running Rollout as the fast move. We're going to no-shield the first charge move here as the opponent goes for Body Slam. Body Slam doesn't do too much damage there. We're now going to bank a lot of energy, come in with our Durant, and we've seen a lot of newly buffed Pokemon, but Vigoroth was triple nerfed this season, as counters generate less energy, Body Slam deals less damage, and Rock Slide deals less damage, but they still grab a shield from us, and we're still going to have to throw a charge move here to get rid of the Vigoroth. So we go for the X-Scissor, we get the KO there, and they're going to come in with a Shadow Hypno, so that's not too bad for us. We are going to throw straight away, could have gone for one extra Metal Claw, but not really risking it there. Of course, if the opponent did swap out into their Miltank there, maybe they could have just got the full farm down. So either way, playing it safe, going to come in with the Oranguru as they go for a Thunder Punch, which does not do much damage whatsoever. We can fire off the Brutal Swing here, and then probably going to swap into our Hydreigon at some point, and we will swap into Hydreigon. We're going to no-shield. We've already seen the Thunder Punch here, and it is just another Thunder Punch, so absolutely fine with us. They come in with the Miltank, and we are going to no-shield, and the opponent full sends the Ice Beam. I didn't realize they already had the energy for that. Obviously, Troshetl probably didn't realize that either, or called the bait, but either way, it's looking like it will be a lost game now, unfortunately, as we go for the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing doesn't get the KO, we do get the farm down, and we come out with another Brutal Swing loaded, but I don't believe Hypno is in Brutal Swing range, and no, unfortunately, that is not the case. They do get the Confusion farm down, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But into the next battle, see a Azumarill in the lead here, so we're going to stay in with the Oranguru, fire off the Trailblaze immediately here, once again, just trying to boost up our attack as soon as we possibly can. Also, not the worst timing ever, not optimal, but also not throwing on alignment, so don't mind that. They're going to go for the Play Rough there, fine with us. We can go straight for Trailblaze number 2, this time throwing on perfect timing as well, and Trailblaze will get the KO there. They're going to come in with a Serperior. Now, this is fine with us. They're going to have to throw a Charge Move to take us out, otherwise they will take a lot of damage from these double boosted Confusions and Brutal Swings, and they do get a big farm down, but the energy isn't really going to go that far as we come in with Durant, and of course Aerial Ace would hit for neutral damage, but the opponent goes for a double resisted Frenzy Plant. Definitely not the right play there. We're going to no-shield once again, and the opponent goes for Aerial Ace this time. Maybe first time around we're thinking, oh, maybe they're running Leaf Tornado, but either way, it doesn't matter. Aerial Ace still doesn't do that much damage, and they're going to come in with a Clodsire, and at this point the opponent's just going to concede the match there. I mean, they could have stayed in there because, of course, we only had resisted charge moves to throw, but maybe the opponent didn't realize that, and either way, we're able to take that game. But into the next battle, going to see the opponent safe swapping into a Whiscash. Definitely questionable when we've got Trailblaze, but going to throw it there, and we're actually going to swap out straight away into our Hydreigon here. Gonna no-shield as they just go for a Mud Bomb, but they're gonna make it to back-to-back anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We would have had to shield at least one charge move in this matchup. So we're now gonna overfarm here, throwing just before they make it to the next Mud Bomb, and Brutal Swing will be getting the KO from that range. They're gonna come back in with the Machamp, and they do actually throw a charge move because otherwise we would have made it to a Brutal Swing, and whilst, yes, that is resisted damage, it would still hit fairly hard, and the Dragon Breath damage would chunk as well. But here, we can come in with our Durant, completely wall the Venusaur, everything is double resisted. They go for Frenzy Plant, that definitely is the correct play here because Sludge Bomb also going to be double resisted and just a worse move. For some reason we go for Stone Edge here, I think X-Scissor would have been fine. But either way, I don't think it really matters here, as we can fire off the X-Scissor. X-Scissor is going to grab the final shield from the opponent, but we're actually not able to swap out in time, and if the opponent is running payback, then this might be a little bit tricky here. Get a shield, they go for the cross-shot bait, and they do make it to one final charge move. And it is just the Stone Edge. We do barely hang on there, but honestly, the opponent made that very close, so fair play. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Quagsire in the lead, so again, another good matchup for us. They're going to swap into Dusk Noir, and typically it's only going to have Shadow Punch and Shadow Ball as the charge moves. I mean, it could run like Dark Pulse or Psychic, but either way, everything would be resisted here. Although Hydreigon, you can see, is not very bulky, so we're actually going to shield the Shadow Punch there. We do get a big farm down though, which is very nice. But they come in with Wigglytuff. If we were able to react in time, could have gone and full sent the Flash Cannon and possibly one-shot the Wigglytuff there. But unfortunately, that is not the case here. Doesn't really matter though, as we do have Durant in the back anyways. And we've got Oranguru with Trailblaze to hit for big super effective damage. Although, gonna bait once again, going for Brutal Swing. Grab the shield anyways, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I feel like going for Trailblaze, I mean, it's not that bad, because even if they do shield, we're going to boost up our attack, and we will put them into the range where, actually, with the confusion damage boosted, Brutal Swing probably would get the KO. But either way, it doesn't matter. They no-shield the second charge move. We can come in with the Durant, and honestly just go for a full farm down here. But we're going to fire off the X-Scissor. X-Scissor grabs the shield there. At this point, this is definitely game over. They can go for an icy win, drop our attack, but it doesn't matter. We can either go for the farm down, or just for the sake of it, fire off the Stone Edge, just because we can, and Stone Edge takes out the Wigglytuff, and we're able to take that game. So I forgot to edit out that part of the video, so don't really know why I did that. But either way, into the next battle, I'm going to see Charger Bug in the lead. And this is unfortunately a bit of a core breaker to the team, because X is going to hit for super effective damage up against both the Oranguru and the Hydreigon. We try to catch it onto our Durant, and the opponent does end up throwing X's anyways. But you can see that actually does quite a lot of damage. Why are we going for Stone Edge here? I think that might have just been poor reaction time there, as the opponent does swap. They make the catch, which is unfortunate. And it does mean they do get a nice Mudslap farm down. But we do have a Trailblaze already loaded, so we can throw it straight away. Trailblaze gets the one shot. They come back in with the Charger Bug. And we're going to no-shield here. We should be able to live an X-Scissor, even though it is super effective damage. But it does do quite a lot of damage, and we unfortunately lose CMP here. So at this point, just going to let Oranguru go down. Come in with Hydreigon here, and they're already at another X-Scissor. Man, this thing is spammy. We're going to shield up the X-Scissor there. We have to shield, and unfortunately, they've got a Zoomer in the back. There's not a lot we can do here. Even if we land a Flash Cannon, it's not going to one-shot them, so we're just going to concede the match. But into the next battle, we see Clodsire in the lead, so very good lead matchup for us. We can just stay in, go straight for a Trailblaze here. Trailblaze will be ramping up our attack, and of course, Confusion's hitting for super effective damage. The fact that they're staying in means that maybe Oranguru is a bit of a core breaker to their team, so we actually choose to shield that, and then they swap into a Shadow for Alligator. So I'm going to go and fire off the Brutal Swing straight away, grabbing a shield, and then swapping into our Hydreigon. So I'm going to shield this, as the opponent could go for an Ice Beam. They do go for the Ice Beam, which is a big call for us here. And unfortunately, you can see, we're trying to commit to the farm down. We don't really want to be hit, even with a resisted Hydro Cannon. So we throw the charge move at the last possible second. They're going to come in with a Shadow Machamp, and we actually make it to another Brutal Swing here, because they are running Karate Chop, and that does so much damage, it actually puts them into Dragon Breath farm down range, and the opponent just concedes the match there. So you can see Hydreigon's damage output is pretty insane here. Next battle, we're going to see a Feraligatr in the lead, so fine with us. They're going to swap into a Licky. We're going straight for Brutal Swing. That does not do much damage there, but I guess it just puts them into one charge move range for the Durant. They full send an Earthquake, which does a lot of damage, and they're already out of Body Slam, so we're going to have to shield this up here, and we are going to commit to a Stone Edge once again. I think X-Scissor would have been fine there, but either way, I guess Stone Edge guarantees the KO. They come back in with Feraligatr. We can come in with our Hydreigon here, and once again, though, we will have to shield if the opponent goes for an Ice Beam. The opponent is going to full send the Ice Beam there, but then swapping into a Shadow Venusaur. So we're going to farm up to the back-to-back Brutal Swings, firing off the charge move. Brutal Swing grabs the shield. We can then swap into our Oranguru, catch the charge move here. Well, the opponent's actually going to go for a Frenzy Plant, which does a lot of damage, but we do get the full farm down there, coming out with a Brutal Swing loaded. If we can grab the shield here, we should be okay in this matchup, and we do grab the shield, although they do get a few Shadow Claws in, as of course we were resisting that damage. We can go for the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing gets them low, but they do make it to a charge move. Is this the Ice Beam? No, it's just the Hydro Cannon. We hang on, we get the Dragon Breath farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, not a great lead matchup for us if they're running Powder Snow, which they are, and obviously we can't really swap out either because Hydreigon has an even worse matchup up against Powder Snow, Shadow, Alone, and Sand Slash. But we're going to shield the first move here, go for a Brutal Swing. Sorry, not shield there, go for the charge move. What am I talking about? We are going to shield the second charge move here coming from the Sand Slash and now go for a Brutal Swing. I don't mind this play, basically just force them to use a shield as well, and hopefully we can just put them into range where we can Metal Claw, farm them down with a Durant. So I'm going to no shield at this point as they go for the Ice Punch. I'm going to come in with the Durant here, I assume, and we do come in with that Durant, and the opponent going to fire off the charge move. I think this might just be another Ice Punch here. It is the Ice Punch, and you can see they would have made it to a drill run there, but they're going to come in with a Gastrodon. This is not ideal for us. We're going to go for the X-Scissor. X-Scissor does some decent damage. We're now going to swap into Hydreigon, and unfortunately, they do outpace us to the charge move. We're going to shoot up the Body Slam, which doesn't do much damage anyways, but unfortunately, just not great for us as they come in with a second Mud Slap user. We throw it on very poor timing there, which unfortunately means they get a full Mud Slap in for free. They go for a full farm down though. We make it to the Brutal Swing, and if we threw it on better timing there, we actually could have just fully farmed them down. So definitely a big mistake, although maybe if they threw it on better timing, they wouldn't have committed to the farm down anyways. But either way, we do unfortunately lose that game. But into the next battle, we can see a Malamar in the lead. So we're going to say swap into our Hydreigon, and the opponent responds with a Talonflame, which is pretty good for us because we are a Dragon type. We're resisting the fire damage. Going to go for the Brutal Swing straight away, and we do already have another Brutal Swing loaded. So going to shield this up here as they go for the Flame Charge, boosting up their attack. And we're going to make it to back-to-back Brutal Swings, but unfortunately only getting there on the CMP tie. So we can throw this second Brutal Swing, but they will shield that. But we can just go for a full Dragon Breath farm down at this point. But they're going to swap, come back in with the Malamar. That is a very nice snipe there, going for the superpower. But we can now come in with our Durant. And again, unfortunately not running Bug Bite, otherwise we would absolutely shred through this thing. But either way, still a positive matchup for us, as we can fire off the X's. They are double debuffed in their attack and their defense. We go for the X's, we get the KO. They come back in with Talonflame, we go for one extra Metal Claw, then we swap out, we get the full Confusion farm down, and they've got Serperior in the back. So things are looking pretty good for us, unless the opponent does somehow come out of this matchup with a charge move loaded after taking out Oranguru, which I just can't see happening. So they go for the Aerial Ace there, which is very unnecessary. Don't really know why they did that, but either way, we can go for Brutal Swing number 2, and at this point, we will be swapping out of this matchup if the opponent does go for another Aerial Ace, as we're only one away from the next X-Scissor, and of course, from this range, super effective damage, it will be taking out Serperior, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, we see Oranguru into Tentacruel. So another good matchup for Oranguru. They're going to swap into Skeledirge. Now, honestly, this is a little bit awkward here just because, of course, these... Well, if they go for Disarming Voice, which they actually don't go for, they go for Crunch instead. But honestly, even resisted Crunches with the Incinerate damage is going to put us fairly low. But I was going to say Disarming Voice is going to hit for double super effective damage here. But we're going to shield anyways. We've seen the Crunch. They're just going for another Crunch there. And now we can go for a full Dragon Breath farm down, which is very nice. They come in with a Azumarill, which definitely isn't ideal. But we can go and fire off the Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon is going to hit for some very nice neutral damage there, about 50% of their health, and we're not even going to bother throwing. We're basically just forcing the opponent to throw their energy as they go for a Play Rough, taking out the Hydreigon. That implies that they're not running Ice Beam there, otherwise they probably would have just thrown it. But either way, the opponent swaps there, but they're going to catch a Stone Edge onto their Tentacruel. So we're now going to swap out into Oranguru, firing off the Brutal Swing straight away. Brutal Swing from this range will actually grab the final shield from the opponent, but that's okay. At this point, the opponent will fire off the Scald. It does not get the debuff there. I think Oranguru is probably bulky enough to live a Play Rough here, and the opponent does just settle for the Play Rough, which we hang on to. We can make it to another Brutal Swing, and despite being resisted, it actually takes out the Azumarill there, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.